it's Ngok, and today I'm doing the mid-year book Freakout tag. This tag was originally created by Chami and her friend Ellie about 2 years ago. I can't remember who originally tagged me when it first came out. Tasha from Fairgrounds actually tagged me in it this year, so I thought it'd be a nice way to wrap up what I've been reading so far. I would have to say my favourite book so far is Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett, and this may surprise you considering the fact that I read a few Cassandra Clare books this year, but I think the reason why this stands out as my favourite is because it was just such a surprise for me. I don't normally read a lot of contemporary, but this just pretty much had every single thing that I could ever want in a contemporary all in one book, and it was short and sweet and had just the right amount of angst and just the right amount of resolution, and I loved it so much from start to finish. It was so good that as soon as I finished it, I just wanted to go back and reread it straight away. Hands down, Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. I just don't even know where to start with this book. It was just an intense, emotional roller coaster ride, and I feel like every book that Cassandra Clare releases, her writing just gets better and better, and her world building and her plots and her character development. You just think that she can't get any better, and then she does. I can't talk about this book enough. There are actually quite a few new releases that I haven't read yet and that I really want to get into, but two that I'm putting on my priority list are The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I've had nothing but good reviews about this book, and I think it's a very important topic that I want to be educated on, and I just cannot wait to pick it up and experience the amazingness for myself. The other book that I really want to read, and in fact is actually on my TBR for this month, is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. This is about a girl who basically is just really unlucky in love, and it's something that I feel like I'm going to be able to relate to no matter what age I am. There are three in particular that I am just phenomenally excited for. The first, of course, is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J Maas. I've kind of gone off Sarah J Maas books a little bit this year, but I just need to read it. It's about Kale, and I'm so happy that he finally gets his own book. He deserves so much better than the treatment that he's been getting in the Throne of Glass series so far, and I'm just so grateful that he gets his own book, and I really hope it does him justice. The second book that I'm really excited for is Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. I recently watched the Wonder Woman movie, not once, but twice in the span of 1 week. So needless to say, I'm very excited for this book, and I know that Leigh Bardugo would just do an amazing job bringing this story to life. Of course, there has to be a Cassandra Clare book, and it is Chain of Gold, which is the first book in her new trilogy called The Last Hours, and it features Will's son, James Herondale. It is actually a retelling of Great Expectations, which if you've read Great Expectations and you know about Cassandra Clare's writing, you can already predict that a lot of feels are going to be had in this trilogy, and I don't know how many times can a heart break in a single year. I don't know if I'm ready for this book. The biggest disappointment of this year would have to be Crest by Marissa Meyer. This is the third book in the Lunar Chronicles series, and I have heard so many incredible things about this book. I've heard that Crest and Thorn are the favourite ship for a lot of people in this whole series, and I just could not buy into their romance at all. I just could not understand how their romance could be perceived to be acceptable. Crest spends all of her time in confinement pining for Thorn. She has no idea who he is. The only thing she knows about him is this image she's built up from his online presence, and then upon actually meeting him and realizing he's nothing like the person that she dreamt about, she still almost tries to make him fall in love with her through just sheer persistence. I just did not enjoy Crest's character at all. She spends the entire book whining about how she's going to die without ever being kissed, and I feel like so much more could have been done with her character, so I'm really sorry if this is one of your favourite books. Don't hate me. Biggest surprise this year was actually In the Afterlight by Alexandra Bracken, which is the third book in the Darkest Minds trilogy. The reason why this was a big surprise for me was that a lot of people actually told me this book was really slow, and quite a few of my friends had mentioned that they DNF'd it, but I actually really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really fast paced. I feel like maybe if you weren't invested in the characters a lot, the first sort of third of the book might have felt slow, but I thought this book was phenomenal. It was one of the best series finales that I've ever read, and I was just on the edge of my seat the whole time, and it was so emotional, and even after I finished it, I had the biggest book hangover of all time. You can ask my colleagues for confirmation, but I was basically wandering around like a zombie for about a couple of weeks after finishing this. They just could not get over the ending and the characters, and I just could not let the book go. This author is not a debut author, but she's new to me, and that is Alexandra Bracken, who wrote the Darkest Minds trilogy. This series has got to be one of my favourite reads this year, and I'm actually really interested in picking up Alexandra Bracken's other series, which is the Passenger series. I've heard mixed reviews about it, but then again, I heard mixed reviews about the Darkest Minds, and it's now one of my favourite trilogies of all time. I think Alexandra Bracken will definitely become one of my order by authors if I end up really enjoying Passengers as well. Liam Stewart, I have a book about him. I have a candle of him as well. I don't have it here, but it's one of my favourite candle scents of all time, and he is just the most precious little cinnamon roll. I can't describe how precious he is. The fact that he respected Ruby so much throughout the entire series, and he never once fell into the dystopian male hero trope of making decisions for her or assuming that he had to protect her, and I just love him so much. I've actually got two characters I want to talk about. The first is Mark Blackthorne from the Dark Artificers trilogy. Now, I know Mark was actually present in Lady Midnight, but I feel like he was present a lot more in the sequel Lord of Shadows, and he's just so precious. Just some of the things that he says and how genuinely innocent he is throughout the whole book. The second character I want to talk about is Cole Stewart from the Darkest Minds trilogy. As a character in the series, he's just so misunderstood by other people, and he has just so much background and so much depth to his character, and he deserves so much better than what he got in the book. I love you, Cole Stewart. I love you so very much. A book that made me cry? This one right here. Be warned. Night Owls and Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett. Jen Bennett is just my favorite contemporary author of all time. One of my favorite authors, full stop, of all time. She just does contemporaries so well, and the banter between her characters is just amazing. It's out of this world. I love her story writing. I love that aside from the fact that the books are really cute and really fluffy and fun, they also pack a punch. There's so much meaning behind them. I haven't actually watched any book to movie adaptations this year. There haven't been very many in the first half of the year, but I did enjoy the 13 Reasons Why adaptation on Netflix. Even though I really enjoyed the book, the Netflix adaptation really brought an extra depth and dimension to the characters, and I think that by taking into account the point of views of the other characters, it really made the story a lot more believable and realistic. Obviously, it's not a book or a TV show for everyone, but it does have a really important message, and I think that if you're not triggered by those things, it is a really good adaptation to watch. I've only written one review this year, that was for The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, but it is actually still one of my favorite reviews because I was so passionate about it, and I just wanted to communicate to everyone why they really need to read this book. Favorite video that I filmed this year was the makeup book tag, which I actually filmed with my sister, and I just had so much fun filming it and answering the questions and editing it. I love doing videos that are a little bit different from my everyday haul and wrap-ups and whatnot. I've bought a lot of beautiful books this year, but A Flame in the Mist by Renee Ardier has got to be one of the most stunning books I've ever laid my eyes on. I was immediately enchanted by the cover. There are so many books that I need to get to by the end of the year, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. I need to read The Raven Boys because apparently it's a very knock book, and I don't know why I still haven't picked it up yet. I want to read all of the Casey West books that have been released so far because I read The Villain Boyfriend last year and really enjoyed it. I think her contemporary writing is fantastic, and I really want to read more of her book. Oh, another book I have to read is the A Darker Shade of Magic trilogy by V. Schwab. I think it's a trilogy, I'm not too sure. And also The Savage Song and Our Dark Duet, which is her duology. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a comment down below letting me know if you've read any of these books, what your favorite reads so far have been, and what new releases you're excited about for the rest of the year. I'll also leave links below to the channels that I tag for this tag, and I will speak to you all very soon. Bye now!
And now you're so